What up, everyone? Pat Mayo here with your Week 11 DraftKings Picks and Preview. You want to check out the entire show, the starts, the sits, the matchups, the cornerback matchups. Check out the Pat Mayo Experience on Mayo Media Network YouTube page or download the audio podcast, wherever you download podcasts. Pat Mayo Experience. Everyone knows the show. Come on now. So if you want to find my cheat sheet, that will be up at dkplaybook.com starting on Saturday, and I will be live on Mayo Media Network at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with Brad Evans talking through our favorite props from DraftKings Sportsbook and our favorite DraftKings plays of the week. But here's the quick rundown of who I like at each position. At the top of running back, everyone and their mom and their dog and their mailman is using Dalvin Cook this week. He could be more than 50% owned in the Millionaire Maker. You got a choice to make here. Full fade, you're either all in or you're all out right now. You can easily go to Alvin Kamara for $200 more, who very few people are using, or just go to Derrick Henry, who even fewer people are using at $8,000. The move might actually be go to the $6,000 range and pick your poison here because you can build a very balanced lineup with very good players to begin with. Miles Sanders against Cleveland, good matchup. They're using him. Corey Clement not going to play. That is a great situation. I love Mike Davis at $6,800. No Christian McCaffrey going up against a banged up Lions team. He's not going to come in as an uber-duber chalk type player. I like him a lot in this circumstance. So for me, it's Davis and James Conner, my two favorite in the $6,000 range. That's how I'll be playing likely most of my teams this week. Other than that, DeAndre Swift is out, Joe Mixon is out, so I do like Gio Bernard quite a bit when he ends up coming in. He's in the $5,000 region. He is actually $5,500. That is a great way to save money. You have your Kalen Ballages in that area, Duke Johnson. I just much prefer Gio Bernard when it comes down to that. J.D. McKissick, too, I actually do like just because of his target base. Melvin Gordon would be the other one at $5,100. If you do want to go up to Henry or Kamara and fade Cook, Melvin Gordon is probably the low end of where you want to go. Frankly, it'd be Gio as the main pay down option for me at running back, and I like them more than like Salvin Ahmed with Matt Breida potentially coming back. So from that low end, for me, rankings-wise, Gio, Melvin Gordon, J.D. McKissick, if that's where you do want to save your money. At wide receiver, Jacoby Myers, the guy that everyone is going to use here. It's just that stack in general. The Houston side of the stack with Jacoby Myers coming back. So you're going to have Watson, Fuller, and Cooks, pretty highly owned. Jacoby Myers, maybe the most owned wide receiver this week. And statistically, it makes an awful lot of sense. His outlier numbers, whether it be weighted air yards and market share for his own team, actually line up a lot like Devontae Adams, who is going to play this week. He's going to really tough it out here. But once again, I don't think that you can really justify paying, well, although it's a good price at $4,900, 25% owned Jacoby Myers is just not where you want to be. Allen Lazard is coming back this week. Maybe you can go down to him or just find a different way to construct your lineups that you're not relying on a chalky Jacoby Myers to get it done for you. Objectively at the top with Taysom Hill starting, you really can't play Michael Thomas. That's a bit tough. If you can get to Julio or if you can get to Devontae Adams, $8,600 is not a terrible price. But honestly, Julio Jones is probably the play here. More people will use Keenan Allen. You could potentially fit them both, but I just like Julio a lot. I like him and Ridley, along with Matt Ryan, if that's the way you want to go. If you drop down a little bit, all three of the Steelers wide receivers are definitely in play, as is Justin Jefferson, but Will Fuller will be my guy from that $6,000 area. Probably McLaurin after that at $69. And then just working your way down the 500s, there's not an awful lot of value, although Marvin Jones could inherit a really good situation with Kenny Golladay and Danny Amendola both out. He's only $5,500. He's been scoring a ton of touchdowns with Kenny Golladay on the sidelines. I think I'd prefer to play TJ Hawkinson at tight end over Marvin Jones, but you can play him as a one-off, not an issue whatsoever. Same as Brandon Cooks. He'll garner a bit of ownership, like I mentioned, but far less than Jacoby Myers, and he's only $300 more, so it's not that big of a deal. And then as we can kind of continue to go down, there's not a bunch of optimal plays once we get below like the $4,000 threshold. Michael Pittman is a name that you could potentially come up with. Marvin Hall filling in for Kenny Golladay is certainly live, but you have no faith in any of these players. Randall Cobb is an interesting pivot if everyone is using the Fuller and Cooks as a part of their Texans stack. Instead of going Cooks, you could go Fuller to get away with some of that ownership. Chenault is out for the Jags, and it's a tough matchup, but Chris Conley is he's not going to be owned, and he's not very expensive, and he should get around like 6, 7, 8 targets in a very pass-happy game script for Jacksonville this week. So I don't hate that. Jakeem Grant would be the other one, $3,500 against the Broncos. Obviously, they traded Isaiah Ford. There's no Preston Williams. Tua has been dialing up his number, even in the red zone. So he doesn't need to do much to come through at $3,500 in this circumstance. Tight end, I'm going to make it pretty easy for you. People are, by and large, using Mark Andrews. Just don't worry about that. You can use TJ Hawkinson in the low $4,000 area. It's a fantastic situation at $4,200. Or just drop down and play who's been like the safest tight end for floor points, and hopefully he falls into the end zone. You can just play Logan Thomas at $3,300. On Washington, it's pretty simple. You can play either one of the running backs. You can play Terry McLaurin or play Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas is so cheap in a good matchup that it just seems like the move to play him. Quarterback, Watson is a relative value. I do like Matt Ryan along with his receivers, though. I got to figure out what I want to do to bring it back, whether it is Jared Cook, whether it is Alvin Kamara, and really go full hog on that stack. The interesting one to me, not a lot of people are using Aaron Rodgers at $7,000, but they really want to use Devontae Adams. If you can figure out between Aaron Jones, Alan Lazard, Marcus Valdez-Scantling, and Robert Tonyan as another pair up with him, figure out which one is the best. It could be Tonyan, although Lazard coming back had a substantial part of this offense. I just don't know if he's going to be on a snap count or not. And you can figure it out pretty easily as a part of a Packers stack. And a low-owned Aaron Rodgers is always a good Aaron Rodgers. Do you want to play Taysom Hill? I don't think that you do. Even though he is super cheap, I would just look in a different direction when it comes down to Taysom Hill here. And then at defense, if you want to pay down to the very bottom, I like the Broncos at $2,400 going up against Tua. The offensive line is banged up. He's a rookie. And we saw under duress in the very first part of that Rams game, it wasn't very good. The Broncos are $2,400, and they are 5th in the league in adjusted sack rate on defense. They should get into this backfield, so I don't mind them. The Panthers at $2,700 makes sense just with so many injuries on the Lions side. But if you do pay up a bit more, I think that Washington coming through at their price is likely the route that you want to end up going. The footballs are only $2,900 against Cincinnati. You know Burrow's going to put it up like 50 times in this game. Just a lot of opportunity. I mean, the Steelers are the play, and so are the Chargers. They're just both above $4,000, and I think you can allocate your money a little bit better than that. After that, maybe the Dolphins at $3,400. If you have enough money, objectively, they're probably the best defense of this bunch. So it'd be Dolphins, Washington. You have to pay down, take the other side of the Dolphins game, and go with the Broncos. Again, my cheat sheet will be out Saturday on DKPlaybook.com. If you want a full in-depth breakdown of each of the positions, check out the Pat Mayo Experience on the Mayo Media Network, YouTube channel, and wherever you download your podcast. Good luck this week.